Hey everyone, welcome back to Bachelor Happy Hour. I am Serena, and it's going to be a solo episode tonight for me. Joe is unfortunately sick, but we are so excited because we are here live from the Women Tell All. They just finished recording, and we're going to have the chance to talk to a few of the ladies and Grant to get all their thoughts, recapping the night, the highlights, the lowlights, all the things. So let's get into it, shall we? Just a quick little overview of the night. We had a lot of drama to dive into tonight. We saw them talk a lot about Zoe. Definitely a bummer that Zoe wasn't at the tell all. Would have loved to have heard her side of things. And obviously, it's always hard when someone's not there to defend themselves. I think Sarafiena did a great job stepping up and just trying to kind of play that role for Zoe on her behalf, but also interesting to hear all of the women's thoughts on Zoe and get a little more context on what went down there from Beverly, Alli Joe, and some of the other girls. Then we dove into the Carolina versus Rose conflict. And gosh, I feel like Rose did a really good job this whole season. Honestly, just what she was given to work with. She was in a very unfortunate and impossible situation, but I think she took accountability for the role that she played in it. I think she was genuine in the mistake that she made. I don't think there was any malicious intent there. And yeah, truly just unfortunate that that had to be how her journey unfolded. But I think she really did the best she could, cleared her name here. And I don't know if she got the closure she was maybe looking for with Carolina, but I think we can put that situation to bed. Following it up, a lot of Carolina tonight, obviously. I mean, she was really a star of this season in so many ways. And the girls had a ton to say about it. I'm looking forward to talking to some of them and just getting their thoughts and feelings on how everything played out, including Dina, who kind of had a friends turned enemies turned friends turned enemies situation with Carolina this season. Very complicated dynamic. It's not feeling like they're on great terms, but we will definitely see where Dina's head is at with all the Carolina stuff tonight when we talk to her. We had some great hot seats from the girls. We saw Alexe chat a little bit about her relationship with Grant and someone that I'm definitely hoping we see in Paradise, hoping she brings Linda the llama as well. Couldn't hurt anyone. And we had Sarafiena, who we will be chatting with as well. She went home right before hometowns. I think she shocked everyone by not getting a rose to go to hometowns. I think, at least for me, she was kind of a for sure thing. And that was definitely a twist in the plot. So I'm curious to see how she felt about tonight, seeing Grant again, and just their overall relationship, and also how her mom feels about everything. She's kind of a new star in the franchise, and maybe we'll see her on Golden. Who knows? Then we had Dina's hot seat. So much to talk about with Dina tonight, both with the drama and with her relationship with Grant. She's obviously the last girl to go home right after hometowns, and a little bit of a different situation with her family not being present. I know that was a big topic tonight on how that weighed on her relationship with Grant, also weighed on her. And she, made a hard decision by not bringing them that may have ended her relationship with Grant. And we'll find out, how she feels about that, if there's any regrets there. Carolina had a hot seat as well. We will not be chatting with Carolina tonight, but I feel like she really laid it all out there, both in her conversations with the women, with Jesse, and with Grant. I can imagine she had a very challenging and draining night. She obviously was doing a lot of talking as she was involved in a lot of the season. So let's just give everyone a little bit of grace when we're trying to be keyboard warriors and all of that. I think it's nice to be nice, and probably a challenging night for her. Then we saw Grant. We got to close it out with our man Grant, the bachelor, the star of the moment. Will he or will he not get engaged? We all want to know. I think it was overall smooth sailing for Grant. There wasn't anything too complicated overall with his conversations. All the women seemed pretty comfortable with him and how things went. In terms of closure, I feel like that's what we all come to the tell all to find, right? The women want to find closure with each other. They want to find closure with Grant. And as viewers, we want to find closure on all the drama and the various storylines that we saw this season. I don't know how I feel about closure from this episode. I think that there was maybe a lot left unsettled. But I think that with this season, specifically a lot of the drama that we saw, we're going to have to be comfortable with people agreeing to disagree and everyone's truths and experiences being a little different in the situation. There wasn't that kind of hug, kiss, makeup moment between a lot of the girls. There wasn't that moment necessarily between Carolina and Grant. Not saying they ended on bad terms. I just think that some of these girls are going to carry on to be friends and some of them won't, and that's totally okay, but they're always going to be bonded from this journey and their relationships with Grant. And I think that hopefully a little bit of time and space is going to make everyone feel settled and give them the closure that if they didn't get it tonight, they'll hopefully feel later on. And for us as viewers, I think that yeah, this is just going to be one of those seasons where it's not necessarily a full blown clean happy ending, and that's okay too, because you know what, that's life. And I think it's makes for kind of an interesting season, an interesting tell all, and will hopefully lead us to an interesting finale. So, those are our overall highlights on the episode tonight. We hope you guys loved it as much as we did, and stay tuned to hear thoughts from the women.
Hello, Serena. How are
Hello, Alex. Welcome back to Bachelor Happy Hour.
you? How
It's
are you? Is it late there?
it is. It's like 10 o'clock here, but
Uh,
we're happy to be here. It's just me today, just a little girl chat.
Little girl chat. Let's do it.
So, first and most important question, what's going on with the lashes?
Okay, so remember that scene where, or not a scene, the podcast that goes, not a lip, not a lash, not an eyebrow, bare face. So today I was like, I need to step it up and bring the lashes on. So that's what we did.
Okay, they look fabulous.
Thank you. I think it
Amazing.
really, that's what was missing the whole season. I was
I
like,
didn't think anything was missing from your glam. Did you watch it back and feel like you were feeling bare?
oh my gosh, watching it tonight, I was like, wait, literally nothing on. And I had mascara, but it's okay. Lesson learned, lesson learned.
I actually did. I do feel like I saw a clip that was saying like, did Alex go bareface on
Uh-huh.
night
And
one?
honestly, it's I've set the record straight. I just had a really bad setting spray and really bad mascara apparently. So
You know what? It's a long night too. I think you can have all the setting spray in the world and you're just
doesn't matter.
never gonna look fresh by the time you're getting a rose.
Exactly.
Okay, so hot seat. We love seeing two French Canadians up there. How was it chatting with Jesse?
It was so great to see him. He said something about the best entrance, and I was like, "You are biased because you're Canadian." No, it was really nice to see him again.
So I was so surprised because, well, not so surprised, but you said that you felt like you had hometowns in the bag, which was so interesting to me because I feel like all season I've been like, where's Alex? I feel like we don't know about her relationship. So for you to go home that week as a viewer, it kind of aligned with what we were seeing,
Right.
right? Can you give us
Absolutely.
more insight into where your relationship was at when you went home that night and how it contributed to the blind side?
Absolutely. So I think with me and Grant, we kept it really lighthearted throughout the whole season because the first one-on-one, it's the first one-on-one and you don't want to trauma dump the first night, right? So, and plus we were sitting on the ground and there was like a teddy bear in the background. So they were like, just keep it light. And all I thought, like throughout the whole season, I kept thinking, I'm just gonna wait to hometowns to really open up and tell him who I am and the things that makes me me, right? Because I didn't want to. I felt like I owed it up to myself to wait for a longer conversation rather than a 10-minute cut short. So that's where how I went throughout the journey. But still, I think it's because we kept it lighthearted and fun, which is me. And like I said, I've said that multiple times. I want to be with my best friend and I feel like we had that foundation and maybe it wasn't as big conversations as other girls maybe so maybe that's why I was a little bit more in the background.
Do you think the reassurance you were getting from Grant, along with just kind of the pace that maybe you guys were moving at, you were like, I feel like we're good. I feel like I'm going to hometowns. We're moving at a good pace. I'm getting that reassurance. But now maybe watching it back, you're like,
Absolutely.
no, it's making sense
And
now.
now it's making sense. And I think a lot of it too was him saying, like, I'm a goofy guy, like, I don't have to be serious all the time. So every time, and maybe that's just like delusional, but I was like, oh, he's talking to me. He means like he's directly speaking to me, meaning like I don't need to be serious all the time. So I was like, oh, our pace is perfect. Like this is what he
Totally.
wants or needs. And then once we hit hometowns, this is where, I'll really open up about, things that's happened in my life and whatnot. Um, so yeah, I just thought, you never know what pace he's at with the other girls, but I
Right.
thought ours was at a great.
What kind of clarity do you feel like you've gotten watching it back?
I think seeing the emotional vulnerability with the other women, it just made more sense. Like, oh, okay, he was just. It's not necessarily that we didn't have a connection. It's just that he was moving faster at a faster pace with the other women.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like you're so right with the fact that the first one on one is a blessing, but honestly, more of a curse. I
It's a
feel like
double-edged sword,
yeah.
absolutely, especially with the season cut short a little bit because
Mhm.
who knows if I would have had more time with them, if they would have been a little bit longer. And with that, it's like you're a stranger, so you're not comfortable yet to speak about certain things on your one-on-one the first time versus having
Mhm.
smaller chunks of little times with them and then having your one-on-one. It's like, oh my gosh, I know
Yeah.
you. Like I want to share this with you.
If you had to pick, so you guys had 6 weeks of dates before hometowns, which is
Yes.
short. Usually,
Yes.
I think it's like 7 or 8.
It's 8. Yeah.
It's 8, yeah. So in those 6 weeks, if you could have picked which week you got your one-on-one, which week do you think you would have picked?
Oh, absolutely. The last one. The last week.
Really? You would have picked the
Yes.
last week. Okay,
Like knowing
interesting.
if I knew for sure that I was staying the entire time. Yes.
Right. I feel like
Um,
that's uncommon, but it has become a more favorable week because your season's been so short.
because the season, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because now you really know the guy and you feel comfortable sharing things. But no, if the season was actually the like how it is usually, I would have picked first one-on-one and then a second one.
Yeah, it's a good setup.
It's not the best angle. Oh my gosh.
No, you look beautiful. You look amazing. What were you most excited for tonight?
Thank you. What I'm the most excited about?
Yeah, what were you the most excited for coming into tonight?
Honestly, I was excited to see him and seeing the bloopers. Those are so fun. And I feel like I knew some of my words were going to be in there, so I was excited to see that. But oh wait, I'm missing the most important thing. The girls, obviously. Seeing the girls. Oh my gosh, like love you Grant, but like to the side, the girls.
What were you the most nervous for tonight?
I think watching my journey back and I didn't know how I was going to react to it. But I think it went pretty well. I mean, it's never a fun feeling to see yourself. I remember the feeling I had in Scotland and watching it back the first time, like last week. I didn't think I was gonna be that emotional, but it really hit,
Yeah.
hard. So yeah, I just wasn't sure how I was gonna react tonight, but I think yeah, I handled it pretty well.
Watching yourself be sad is like harder than I think you would imagine it to be.
It is. And I'm like someone who's silly, like Google, like I don't care, I'm crying. But yeah, seeing myself, especially in this context when it's like love involved, I think is really, when you had hopes.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Hmm.
What is next for you in the dating world? What are the hopes and dreams?
I don't know.
Oh, do we see a little
Shells,
seashell on your
shells,
earrings? A
shells.
little a little
Little
manifestation for
foreshadowing.
paradise?
No, but I'm really I do having this journey, I really embraced the fact that we were so different, but for some reason we meshed really well. So I'm really coming into, my dating world with a very open mind now because I feel like I used to be like, I need this specific type of person to fit my personality. And with Grant, totally opposite. And we had so much fun. So yeah, we'll see what the future brings.
Would you do paradise? If you would do paradise, is there anyone you have your eye on or anything you're specifically looking for in a
Yeah.
guy?
I mean, it's so hard because personality can be a big thing. So do I have to say names?
I mean, you should, but you don't have to.
Okay, I'll leave it as
You can be mysterious if you want.
I'll be
You could hint.
mysterious. I'll be open-minded. That's all I'm gonna say. And I'm gonna, yeah,
Open-minded.
go with an open mind.
Okay, last question. How was it to see Linda the llama tonight?
I was not expecting that. Oh
One
my
of
God.
the most emotional moments
And
of the night.
no, literally, that's when I teared up. And because I was so nervous the first night and having her by my side, I remember thinking, thank God I was gonna say a prop, not a prop, but like something else to put my nerves, like calm my nerves.
She was your emotional support
It was my
animal.
emotional support animal. So no, it was the best surprise. I was so happy.
I love that. I love that reunion. Alex, thank you so much for
Thank you,
coming on.
Serena.
Congratulations on tonight and
Thank you.
finally being done. We're wishing you the best and hope to see you in
Thank you,
paradise.
Serena. Thank you so much.
Allie Joe, welcome to Bachelor Happy Hour.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I know. I feel like we're hoping to get you in the height of things like right after your departure from the show. So I'm happy that we're getting you today. Well, by we I mean myself,
Me
Joseph.
too. I was like, wow, when am I going on that?
I know, finally. Well, let's get into everything. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling excited. I'm happy. I'm happy to be here. This is like a crazy experience you can't put into just one word, but yeah, I'm happy. I'm excited.
Okay, good. How are you feeling coming into tonight?
Coming into tonight, I wanted to hear what other girls had to say because I feel like a lot of the times it was always the same girls talking and saying their truth. So I wanted to hear if some of the other girls would like step up to the plate. But yeah, going into it, I really didn't want to overthink anything. I don't want to like have a script for myself of what I'm going to say because I don't know what's going to be asked, and I'm an in the moment person. So yeah, that's what my headspace was like.
It was great to see, and obviously it was unfortunate because Zoe wasn't present, and that was kind of a
Mhm.
big piece of your story was the drama between you and Zoe. But
Right.
just to kind of get more on that, I know Zoe had the chance to come on and kind of share her side of the story, and it just felt like that entire kind of situation between the two of you was snipped up, right? We only got to see like a really small piece of it.
Yeah.
What was the most important thing to you to convey when sharing your side of the story tonight?
The most important thing to me is that I will never just like go after someone just to go after them because I feel like a lot of like what I was like portrayed as is like a boxing trainer from Jersey. Am I loud? Yes, I said that, but like that's not just who I am. That's a very small piece of me. But I do fight back if somebody pushes my buttons, and they were pushed. And listen, at the end of the day, we squashed it. So I'm ready to like move on from it. There's no ill will. I don't wish anything bad upon her at all. I apologize. Her and I had, sat and talked the next day. So we're good from my perspective. I know she went on your podcast and maybe said otherwise, but I don't like to like harp on those things. And that was a small part of me on a show,
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I feel about it.
If Zoe had been there tonight, how do you think things might have gone differently, or would there have been anything specific you wanted to say to her?
Yeah, I think her and I could have like resolved it a little bit more. But I would say, I do feel bad because some people are being very mean to her on the internet. And it's not just her, it is all of us. But something that did bother me is that if you can't like dish it, or if you can't take it, don't dish it. And she did start a lot of the stuff that happened that night. I just had a voice, and sometimes my bark is loud, and it was. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna be mad at the girl for the rest of my life or for the rest of the time on The Bachelor. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about it.
Did her approach, because she obviously took a very bold approach early on,
Yes.
do you think had you stayed longer on the show, it might have changed how you wanted to approach it? Like, for example, she was someone that clearly wanted to steal him multiple times and felt comfortable moving in that way. Do you think
Yeah.
that's an approach you would have ever adopted? Or were you like, no, that's not me, and that's not how I'm going to go about this?
Yeah, that's just not how I go about things. I also don't chase. So to me, it's giving chasing, and I want to be chased, right? Obviously, if this is a bachelor, it's not the norm. So you can't expect it to be chased, but that's just not how I would go about things. It's just not who I am. It's not true to myself.
Mm-hmm. What were you most nervous for going into tonight?
Going into tonight, I was mostly nervous about that, like bringing that up because I kind of just wanted to like put it in the past. And again, like I'll reiterate it, I don't want any like ill will towards her. I don't, like put up with any of like the negative comments, but I think we have all gotten it, and that's kind of what you get when you go on the show. So I was nervous about that, and she wasn't there to defend herself, so I don't really think it's fair for me to continue on to talk about it, because like that's not, like I said, there was so much more to me that I wish people could see or at least know, and hopefully one day I get the chance to like kind of tell who I am and my story because there is layers to me, and that was just a very small glimpse.
Yes. Well, we see that a lot on the show where, you're just getting kind of a glimpse of people because it is so short lived.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's a second chance to see a little
Yes.
more, learn a little more. Would you go to Paradise?
Yeah, so I've been asked that multiple times. Would I go if I get the opportunity? If I'm single, then yes, I would probably do it.
Okay. What would you be looking for? What's your type?
I really go for personality. My type is somebody that's obviously like nurturing and caring, but I'm really independent, and I am okay standing on my own 2 feet, but I want someone to lean on. I want somebody that I can rely on because I'm a very reliable person, but I haven't really found that in a significant other. So, and then somebody who's really close to their family or can at least be very close to my mom and my sister because we are so close.
Oh, I love that. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I have a feeling we will see you in Paradise. I hope we do. And thank you so much for chatting with us
Thank you. It
tonight.
was so nice to meet you. Thanks for
It was
having
nice
me.
to meet you too. Good
You
luck with
too.
everything. Congrats on
Bye.
being done. Bye.
Thank you.
All right, we have Sarafiena back on Bachelor Happy Hour for round 2. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you? You've had a big night.
It was a big night. It was a really big night. I'm exhausted, but
Are you feeling
So
like
good.
all the adrenaline now that you're finally officially done?
Yeah, I feel good. I feel like closing a chapter, ready to move on to the next.
Yes. Well, you've had a big night. We have a lot to chat with you about. So
Yeah.
let's get right into it.
Yeah.
I want to dive into the drama of it all. How do you
Yeah.
feel like things were left? How do you think things were handled? What are your overarching feelings?
Yeah. So I feel like today it kind of sucks that I think as a group collectively, we wanted to have a coming together moment. I mean, I know you know this. It's like we all went through an experience together and we all, we have this bond. At the end of the day, it's like the journey with Grant is over. And it's like, why can't we just now all be friends in a sense and kind of hear each other out? And I feel like that was not resolved tonight. And it's just unfortunate that we didn't have that resolution tonight.
Let's jump to your time with Grant.
Yeah.
Um, you obviously received a lot of validation. You felt that way. We also saw it. And I think people were so shocked. I was so shocked, to be honest, when you didn't
Uh-huh.
get a hometown rose. Were
Yeah.
you surprised or did you feel that coming?
No, I was completely shocked. Um, for me, it's like I'm a very matter of fact, straightforward person. If I felt like I was not getting validation, and I had a conversation with him in week 3 where I was like, I don't know if I feel confident. And he gave me the extra bonus date that week. He gave me a one on one the next week. We had a very good conversation in Scotland, which was like, I'm very excited to meet your family. Like, what are we going to do in your hometown? So, like, in my mind, I was like, oh, okay, like, we're like, in the bag. Like, when are we going home? So I think I definitely felt blindsided in that moment.
Mm.
But I mean, it is what it is. I feel like I'd rather, if it weren't me, not bring him home to meet my family. So that's also a
Mhm.
bonus.
Do you wish, looking back, that he had given you less validation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1,000%. Because I think sometimes like less is more in that situation where it's like I feel like I could have walked away. Um, and I just, yeah, I didn't love the feeling of being blindsided, honestly.
Do you feel like seeing him and talking to him tonight, you got more closure on maybe what had happened with the relationship?
I feel like we definitely didn't really get to have that conversation, but in my heart and in my head, I definitely have closure because at the end of the day, it's like I think I'm realizing now it just wasn't my person. And also if I feel like I had to seek validation at that time and ask those questions, then it wasn't my person.
Yeah. Do you feel like watching it back has also kind of helped with that?
Yeah, watching it back has definitely helped with that.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like one of the more fun, lighthearted, iconic moments of the season was your comment with Grant about, I
Yeah.
don't want to kiss you because my mom's watching.
Yeah.
How has the response from people been about that?
People love my mom, first of all. They showed her today. Apparently, like now there's a petition for her to be Golden Bachelorette, which I'm like
I
fully
love
supporting.
that.
But no, it's so like I feel like people really related to it because I was so nervous about it. But people are like, wait, no, it actually is really awkward to kiss on camera. And I
No, it
just said,
is.
I feel like what I always do, what everyone's thinking. So yeah, no, people loved it. And I think it shows so much my personality.
We saw your mom sent in a video message for tonight. Did you know that was coming or you seemed
I
completely
had
surprised?
no idea. I thought she was coming from like the left stage. I was like, you guys
No
did not fly her
way.
out because she's also afraid of flying. And I was like, how did you get her out here? When I saw the video, I was so happy. I teared up. She's just so cute.
She is so cute. Well, at the odd chance she might still be single and want to do Golden Bachelor, I mean, based on your experience with the show, would you be encouraging of her to do that?
I'd be so happy. It'd be weird to see my mom kiss on camera
Yeah.
now that I think about it. But no, she supported me throughout all of this. So I support anything that she does.
Okay, well, we have to, get her more comfortable with flying so we can get her on a flight out to
Mm,
LA.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, we'll just put it out there. She's going to be Golden Bachelorette. I'm calling it.
Was there anything tonight that you feel like was left unsaid? Any regrets you have? Anything you wish had gone differently?
Um, wish that as a group we could have all heard each other out. I feel like it was very, very, very tense and slightly passive aggressive, which I think no one wanted that to be the environment, especially like a lot of the girls tonight. In terms of myself, I feel at peace with it. I'm leaving with really good friends. I'm leaving with so much that I've learned about myself, and I'm really happy, and I hope that everyone else feels that way.
All right, and last question. This is the key question of the night. Would you do Bachelor in Paradise?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. I have a lot of bathing suits. I've been doing Pilates a lot, so
Okay.
maybe.
We're
But there
prepped.
has to be,
We're
yeah, I'm
toned.
so like body wise and like fit wise, I'm ready. But heart and mind, I have to get in a good place.
That
Yeah.
makes sense. You also like were one of the more recent people to go home. You literally just finished filming tonight, so I can
Yeah.
totally understand. You're like that probably sounds like a big jump back into the
Exhausting.
deep end.
Yeah. Yeah. But I will never say no. I will never say no.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we are rooting for you to find love, and thank you so much. Hopefully, we see you again here soon.
Thank you. So good to see you again.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Serena, what's going on?
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Happy hour. We have the Bachelor himself with us, Grant Ellis. Grant, how was reuniting with all your party girls tonight?
Oh man, listen, anytime you're reuniting with your exes, there's some tension there and but we the night ended very well, so I'm happy.
How did you feel going into tonight? What were you most excited for or most nervous for?
So nervous seeing your exes, but excited because, when you're on this journey, you care for these ladies and you form connections and just seeing them again, seeing that everybody's thriving and happy, that's the most important thing.
Did you have like a goal going into tonight that you were hoping to achieve?
The
Or
one
like
thing
an
that I
intention, maybe
yeah,
is a better word for it.
yeah, my intention was just to for the ladies to see how genuine I really was and how much I care for them, and I hope that was shown.
Was there anything watching tonight unfold that was incredibly surprising to you?
No, I kind of had an idea what was going to be addressed, and I just told my truth, and I took accountability, and that's all you can do.
Yep, 100%. All right, let's run through a couple of the ladies that you chatted with tonight. I feel
Yeah.
like the big headline for you was kind of the Rose and Carolina drama. Rose, how did you feel about your conversation with her?
I feel like the conversation with Rose went really well, and we apologized to each other because during the course of it, definitely words got misconstrued, and I took accountability, and so did she. And I think that that's somebody that is a really really good person with a sweet heart, and we hash things out.
Yeah, ironically enough, that might have been the cleanest resolution of the entire night.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Truly,
Like
between you and Rose.
right, right, and that's how you know somebody's ready to resolve it, and it doesn't have any ill will towards you.
100%. Carolina, how was seeing her again? Definitely probably your most tense, emotionally charged conversation was between you and her. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I think, Carolina's feelings are valid and everybody reacts differently. But like I said, taking accountability for my flaws because I'm a human, I'm a man and I'm flawed. And I think that I didn't approach, I didn't do it perfect, but I take accountability. And I think that, I hope that she did also. And we both, hopefully, the resolution stays that way.
Yeah. One more question about the Carolina and Rose situation. I just want to hit it on the head a little more. You said you apologized to Rose and Carolina for not handling the situation the way you should have. How do you feel like you should have handled the situation?
Maybe going back, just it's difficult because when you're the bachelor and you have feelings, you want to reassure people. But if I could go back in time, maybe I could just reword things better to where there's no room for uh error, or there's no room for my words to be misconstrued. I think that usually I'm pretty well spoken, but in that situation, me trying to reassure Rose, if I could go back in time, maybe I would say things different.
100%. I feel like that's also just life, like that is a great example of something on the show happening that is just a true miscommunication that can happen in any relationship, dating experience, etc., right? Like everyone has their own interpretations and miscommunications happen all the time. So, I
One
think it's
thousand.
great that we were able to clear the air on that situation and hopefully everyone can move forward. How was it seeing Dina again? She was your last person that you sent home after hometowns. And we saw she got emotional tonight. What was that like?
Yeah, it was really good seeing Dina. Dina's an amazing woman, and she has so much to offer. I think that we had a really good conversation, And, I felt bad that she left there feeling like maybe it was something she did or, not, it wasn't that, you know what I'm saying? I think Dina, um, has helped me grow a lot and I've helped her grow. And I think that that's what this is about.
Yeah. Can you tease anything coming up? We have some big episodes coming our way for Grant season. We're almost done. Are you excited for the season to be over?
I'm excited. Like,
Yeah.
this is I'm very appreciative. It's a lot though. I think dealing with public criticism on, a lot of times me just being myself. Everybody has a lot of different opinions, but I'm grateful. And I think that I handle myself really well in these episodes. And I think that, my ending about me being torn. Listen, when you love hard, that's what happens. And, I'm not a robot. So I went in there with my emotions and I think that that comes out. I did the best that I could.
We are going to be seeing, hopefully, of your exes in Paradise this season.
Right.
We're also going to see a lot of your former castmates from
Right.
Jen season. Are there any matches you're hoping to see? Are you playing matchmaker behind the scenes at all?
Listen, I think that Jonathan and maybe Alex, that would be a really good couple.
I like it.
Um,
I like it.
I think that I'm like drawing blank right now.
That's okay. You've got to be brain fried. You've had a really long
I'm
day.
so fried right now.
I'm not
I'm
gonna
so
blame
fried.
you for the
I'm so
blank.
fried.
I know.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of people. I want to see Jeremy in there. I want to see Spencer in there. I think Spencer's a sleeper. Like I think he will go in there and he's such a genuine guy. I'm excited to see how Hakeem does. And yeah, you know what I was gonna say? I think I want to see Alli Joe and how she does because she is an amazing person. Um,
Yeah, we
and I want to see
chatted with her tonight, and I was like, I actually think Paradise will be good for you if you get the chance to go, because I know
it would be
she
amazing.
was saying, I feel like you only get to see so much of each of these girls, right, on your season. So just
Right.
getting to see more
To
of
see,
them.
yeah, you get to see the full picture of who somebody is.
Yeah, well, can't wait to see the end of your season, Grant. We're so excited for you, and I'm sure it all being said and done is going to be a huge relief, and then you can be back on the viewer side cheering on your friends in Paradise.
That's where I'm best on the sidelines cheering on my people. So I can't
Oh,
wait.
you're being modest. You've
I
been
can't
great,
wait.
and
I can't wait.
congratulations on tonight, and thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Serena.
No problem. Dina, welcome to Bachelor Happy
Hi.
Hour.
Thank you.
I'm so glad we get to talk to you. I feel like this is not going to be enough time, but we're going to fly
This is
through
not
some
gonna be enough
questions.
time. It's so nice to meet you.
It's so nice to meet you. I feel like you're giving like baby blue Elwoods tonight with your
Thank
look.
you. I am. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was going for. I was gonna
Really?
do the super predictable, like shiny, bedazzled, sparkly, like mini dress. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna like play into the character that I am and do like this whole look. Wait, you have to
It's
see the
so
shoes.
fun. Yeah, show me the shoes. I
Okay.
saw them when you were in the hot seat,
It's
but
like
oh
the
my
like,
gosh.
little slingbacks.
I love them. I have a pair like that in black,
Hopefully
but
you
you're
didn't see my
convincing
cooter,
me.
but
It's okay. We'll crop it out.
okay.
But I
I
feel
have
like
them in black too.
you're inspiring me to get them in white for the summer.
So that's how I felt. I got the black ones first in a pump,
Yeah.
and at the time I was like, I have nothing to do with the white ones. And then when I found this outfit, I'm like, I am texting my guy at Versace. I'm like, I need the white slingbacks today. And he's like spiraling, trying to get like people to come Uber them to the store from a different location, and that's what he did. So that was
You're
really happy.
kind of manifesting bride with the white
I
slingbacks, with the
kind of
little bow.
am, and now I'm gonna wear them all summer. So maybe I'll meet someone.
There you go. All right, let's get into tonight.
Okay.
Before we start manifesting a husband, let's talk about Women Tell All.
Okay, let's talk about it.
So going to tonight, where did you stand with Carolina at the start of the night, and where do you feel like you stand with her now?
I thought at the start of the night, her and I were kind of in limbo because after the whole social media stuff, like we talked a little bit, but it was like it wasn't in depth. It was kind of like, do you want to talk about it before the show or should we just talk at the show? And
Right.
in that moment, I think both of us were just like, let's just like hash it out there. We'll keep it cute. We both agreed. We'll keep it classy, like not do this whole screaming match that I got into in Scotland. And so by the time the show came around and, we did our whole thing, I feel like we didn't really move the needle forward at all. I think
Yeah.
I said like what I wanted to say, which was, apologizing for how hard I came at her in Scotland and how upset I was. And I was like doing the whole finger thing. I hate when that side of me comes out, and it did. And so I apologized for that and I meant it. And I still you know, I, s- I still feel bad that I did that. But I didn't really get anything from her, like she
Yeah.
just kind of like didn't want to take accountability for her part in it. She didn't really give me much. So yeah, I don't think that we really patched things up. I don't.
Yeah, it did feel like a resolution did not exist. You weren't going to
No.
get there, and kind of two different conversations were being had a lot of the time.
Yeah.
In regards to your relationship with Grant, how was it seeing him tonight? We obviously saw you went home after hometowns. Were
Yeah.
you surprised or were you expecting it?
I think the not meeting the family thing was huge, right? And even though I tried to like skate around it, the issue, and make it seem like it's no big deal, like my friends are my family too, like I knew that it was going to be something really important and potentially make me go home.
Yeah.
In that moment, I think I was like trying to think positively as the hometown was going on, but in the back of my head, I was like, I, he shouldn't take me seriously in terms of an engagement if you haven't met my family. Like you shouldn't, and I shouldn't
Yeah.
either because that's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't. It was expected. I think I was still, upset about it, and I think I was still shocked because week after week after week you get a rose, and so when you don't, it's like, oh, it's like a little bit of a like, you're not
That's
expect.
different. That's
Yeah, that's different. Oh, okay.
different.
Yeah, and you're like in this bubble, so you forget that, okay, that means I have to go back to my real life, and that was like a little bit of a shock for me too.
Yeah, it's
So,
definitely shell shock kind of jumping out back into the
yeah.
real world. Um, do you regret you did say that you actually kind of gave your family the green light to not be present. Like some people were interested, some people weren't, and you just said,
Mhm.
don't worry about it. But you also articulate that like you do feel like that prevented Grant from being able to take the relationship to the next level. And you kind of also would have felt that way if you were in his shoes. Do you wish that you had brought some of your family on or any regrets in that situation?
Yeah, I think I do regret it. I think that it could have been a different outcome. At least, you know, bringing me to the next stage and seeing if like we could work something out and seeing if my feelings could get there. But I think the fact that I didn't is okay too. Like I have peace with that because I think it worked out for the way that it should have. And I said something, I don't remember if I said it today or if I was talking to someone else, but I think bringing my family into the picture and convincing them that I'm ready for an engagement in 2 weeks when I didn't necessarily feel that way. It was a scary thought that in 2 weeks I could be engaged. It would feel really dishonest for me to talk to my family about like, yeah, we're ready, like we're doing this when I couldn't convince myself of that, you know?
Yeah,
So
I
maybe
do.
it could have changed something in another week, but maybe it couldn't. I don't know, but I just know everything happens for a reason and I'm okay with that.
Do you feel like you got closure tonight talking to Grant, kind of expressing to him how you were feeling about the hometown situation, what you saw him say in his interviews, and you can kind of,
Mhm.
leave that in a peaceful place and move forward?
I
If
do.
you
I
could.
think that the fact that I got to talk to him and let him know that I regretted the way that I handled the whole family thing and apologized for if I didn't give him the space where he felt like he could share with me that it could be a make or break situation. He had never said that to me before. So I felt like I needed to tell him that and apologize. If I didn't make you feel like you could open up to me in that way and say that it upset you and tell me that it's a make or break, then that's something that, I take with me and I want to make sure that I recognize that in my next relationships. Like I want to be able to make you feel safe to say something that might be uncomfortable. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Well,
happy that I told him that.
I think it was a great night for you overall. I'm glad you guys ended on
You.
closure and you were beautiful and accomplished. And you obviously hold yourself to a very high
Thank you.
standard and you're going to find
Oh,
the perfect person for you. I'm
I
sure of
appreciate
it.
you so much. If you know anyone, let me know.
We'll
Anyone
keep our
single?
eyes on Chicago.
Okay. Thank you. I know you guys
Maybe
have some
Paradise. We'll
ties.
see.
Yeah, you guys have some ties to Chicago, so I'm open. Just let me know.
We will let you know, Dina. Thank you so much for coming
Okay.
on Bachelor Happy Hour. Have a
Of
good night.
course.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to Bachelor Happy Hour and listening to all of our Women Tell All recaps and interviews. And be sure to tune into Grant's Fantasy Suite episode coming to you on Monday night. We will have lots more episodes. So also subscribe to Bachelor Happy Hour as we finish off Grant's season. Thanks for listening. Bye.